Thank you so much, sir. May I invite the next speaker, Riehl, to talk about the concept to reality, experiencing non-separation state. Thank you, sir.
Hari Om, good morning. I met Dr. Yugender 2 years ago in Ujjain, and he was kind enough to invite me to talk about something which is not very much known, that it is called Nidra Yoga. And the general topic of this morning is about the mystical aspects of spirituality. And talking about Nidra is also talking about how do we go from conceptualization to reality. So I will first introduce what do we mean conceptually about Nidra. So you all know that the very first meaning of Nidra is sleeping. And there are different definitions. Some are symbolic, some are very practical. So the very practical definition is when you just go to sleep. Another definition is talking about Shiv, which is symbolic, and it says that Nidra is a state where life is invented. Then there is another part about Vishnu when he's lying on the snake Ananta, and it is said that he is creating the world in his state of Nidra, and in that definition it means that he is dreaming the world. That is, we are the dream of the Lord, we have the dream of the God. And the last concept about the word Nidra is budding. You know, in springtime when trees are budding. Outside as a budding tree, we know because we have the memory, we know that this budding is going to give flowers, and those flowers are going to give fruits. Sometimes we also think that fruits have seeds, and those seeds are going to make forests. Now, can you imagine being yourself a tree and you start budding everywhere? You have no idea that you are going to be a flower. You have no idea that you are going to be fruits. No idea that you are going to be a whole forest. There is just wounds everywhere. So when we talk about Nidra, we have to keep all those concepts together for having a chance to have a glimpse of reality. The mystical aspect of spirituality, you know, mystics is the same root as mystery. And many of us, we hope to unveil the mystery. But if we unveil the mystery, there's no mystery. So what we mainly say is that we have to live the mystery, not to unveil it. To the process of realizing or feeling the mystery has to do with what we call understanding. Understanding means to stand under, not above. So if we can stand under the mystery, there is a possibility. Not that this state of mind should be the goal, but this state of mind must be at the right beginning to understand clearly that we have to stand under the mystery. Now, what we mean by sadhana or practice, practice is something which is using exercises, and exercises are always concepts until the exercise reveals a particular state. The three main exercises are called Sitilikarana, which you translate as deep relaxation. The second is Dharana, that is high degrees or concentration. And then Svadhyaya, which means study and understanding, has once again standing under. Our daily life is a mystery. When we're talking about mystical aspect, it has mainly to do with our daily life. Whatever your life is, if you are a few certain numbers of hours in your job, or certain hours you are the husband or the wife of your partner, or you are the father or the son of your children or parents. This is daily life. And is it possible into this daily life to stand under the mystery? In our daily life, what is mainly happening within us is either we need to relax because there is too many things to face, or we need to concentrate because we have something to do or something to solve. And pretty often we don't clearly understand the relationship in between these two aspects of relaxation and concentration. What we know is that, what we believe is that if we relax too much, we go to sleep. Sleeping doesn't mean only going to bed, but sometimes in the waking state, we are sleeping. We are not at all aware. On the other side, when we need to concentrate, if we do it too much, tensions appears, what we today call the stress, which is that a fashion. This word is a fashion. So, is it possible to live a life where there is simultaneously a quality of relaxation and a quality of concentration? When we go deep into the state of relaxation, the very last step can be called surrendering. So it comes to this: is it possible to simultaneously surrender and be concentrated? When we go in high degrees of concentration, the very last step can be called awareness. So it comes finally to, can we live a life where surrendering and awareness are going together? Sometimes, when this happens, another state of mind appears. In Nidra we call it, you maybe all know about Patanjali, who is calling it Samadhi. So Turiya, the fourth state, is just something that the first level of relaxation cannot explain, and the high degrees of concentration cannot explain. So we could say that it is a state where simultaneously we are deeply surrendering and we are deeply aware. When these both qualities are together, it's very difficult to talk about what is going on. But there is a quality of understanding, which once again means to stand under. Or we might call it knowledge, but we have to be very careful with words, as understanding is not something that you accumulate and that you keep for facing future situations. And movement where every situation that comes, you don't face it, but you just go with it. It's very difficult to talk about that. That is, everything which is happening, it is not happening to me, it is happening. It is not happening to something or someone else. It is happening. And only because I am in that particular situation, not only I flow with, but the situation and, let's say, myself are flowing together. Into this flowing, a very last event shows up, is action. Into this flowing, there is a natural process of action. And this action is very strange, because it brings about conclusions. It does not. It is the end of karma, we could say like that. The process of cause and effect is no more acting. It's a movement. So we may call, and many traditions have done it, we may call that state unity. We may call that movement diversity, or God and the world. We may also not call it at all. That is, flowing with a very silent and vast movement of life itself. This can be seen as a mystical aspect of yoga, but it is not so mystic in the common sense. It's the very simple, natural movement of life. The very big difficulty for many of us is that we forget that we are the movement of life. We think we have to reach a particular place. We think there is a goal. Let's keep the door open to the possibility that there is no goal. That we are the movement of life, and pretty often we are taken as narrow mind, that we are, into practical questions, and we separate those questions from the natural flow of life. In our daily life, we were talking together at the breakfast table about all the news that we are reading or hearing or seeing in the medias. You might have noticed that even if you don't read the newspaper for 2 months, when you read it again, they say the same thing. Just names and places have changed, but all the stories are always the same. And we have this tendency to believe that the world is what we see or what we hear, or what we listen outside. Simultaneously, we are the world. I'm not talking about a song which was famous years ago, but in reality, we are the world. And it's very important to see that reality so that we can get rid of those beliefs that others are making the world. We do not have to follow anyone. It is not a must. We say in Nidra that the Guru-Shishya relationship is the Shishya is the thought putting questions. The Guru is the body matter giving answers. So we are talking about a kind of dialogue which goes on within. It also can be understood as a mystical aspect, but it is just reality. If we go on listening to voices from outside, either religious leaders, political leaders, economical leaders, we always get upset, and we don't need that. What we need is to come back to an inner dialogue in between the Guru and the disciple. What we need is mainly to come back to a state of discipleship, which is the only state where we can understand, standing under. It is the only way to flow with the movement of life and simultaneously to be the movement of life. Into this flowing, the teaching comes up. And all the scriptures are right. The difficulty for us is to realize, and realizing to accumulate knowledge. Once again, it means to flow with the discovery of the life that we are. We are living in a very tiny corner of the universe. We can compare the whole planet as dust. You know, when there is, in the morning, when the sun rises and there are rays of light, we can see the particles of dust dancing. Just in one ray of light, we could say that the whole planet is one little dust. We can disappear. The whole planet can disappear. It won't change much to the whole universe. Every day these planets are disappearing and some others are appearing. Our life is very, very serious. And unless we stop from the point that we are the movement of life, this is the starting point. It is not the goal to realize. Unless we live with that reality, there is little chance as individuals, as whole mankind, to get rid of pains. Very little chance. And do not expect anyone else to do the job. Politicians cannot do it. They have been trying for centuries, millennia. It's a failure. Religion cannot do it. They have tried for millennia, it doesn't work. We have to look for another way. And it sounds that the way is to face reality as it is. That is, we are life. We are not isolated human beings fighting day and night for catching few informations. We are the movement of life. And we are the movement of life all together. So this is what Nidra Yoga is about. From conceptualization to reality, there is not a big step, but